Bull-NA-Chinashop TV. Not just a YouTube channel, your main source for bull breed entertainment. I offer video services such as stud features, kennel features, and full event coverage. I also offer photography services such as puppy shoots, individual dog shoots, and full kennel shoots. You can see examples of each on any and all Bull-NA-Chinashop social media pages. You can also see an in-depth look into my life and the American Bully lifestyle with my vlog found on the YouTube channel as well. Bull-NA-Chinashop TV is also the home of the Bull-NA-Chinashop podcast, a real, raw, uncut podcast dedicated to the bull breeds and the American Bully lifestyle. You can find all episodes of the Bull-NA-Chinashop podcast, stud features, kennel features, event features, and all of the vlogs on youtube.com/Bull-NA-Chinashop TV. Check it out and hit subscribe today.
I'm taking applications right now. I need more hitters. Yo. What the fuck is going on? You amazing motherfuckers. And we are in a China shop back again. You want to advertise for someone? www.advertise my shit. Bull-NA-Chinashop.com. What the fuck is the week? Stop taking fucking pictures. The public are going to be hosted by yours truly, Ty Lonely Pine. Yo.
Yo, you ugly motherfuckers. Listen, we're back again in the Bull-NA-Chinashop for another episode of the Bull-NA-Chinashop podcast. This week, I am still sitting here in California at Bully Market right now with Big Kev from the lounge right now, and we're about to talk some shit. We're actually right now currently waiting for Rob Lee to finish hitting the dab rig because it's not mobile. Apparently, we can't have it all in the same room. Now we got to play musical rooms, waiting for this motherfucker to get his brain right. So what we're doing out here this week is making some historical announcements about a big collaboration between Bully Market and Midwest Monstas. I'm going to kind of sit back and let Rob and Kev talk it out, tell us like what the fuck they're collaborating on. First of all, like, you know, two of the I would say the top tier elite level programs and names in the American Bully community. So what sparked this shit? Whose idea was it? How did you guys get together? I mean, start from day one. Start from when this idea initially hit your brain.
Go ahead, man.
Well, yeah, I initially...
Introduce yourself first of all. I don't know if everybody knows. You've been on the podcast 4 times, but I don't know if everybody knows. We've got a lot of new people. Hey, we're doing well. Got a couple of new guys. You know?
That's right. I heard you got 1 or 2 new subscribers.
Yeah, we're doing well.
Robert Lee here from the Bully Market, and been breeding bullies since 2008 we're here in Paris, California. I hit up Big Kev, I think it was a couple years ago, a little over a couple years ago, and I liked what his stock brought to the table for what we needed for our program. And I also liked how it was exclusive. It was not, used by a lot of people too. So I reached out to him, and I really didn't have much luck in the beginning. So
I think that's a common theme.
Yeah.
People trying to get in on Kev's shit.
Yeah.
Pretty difficult to do the first until he knows you're serious about it. I feel like is that accurate, Kev?
Well, I gotta check you out, and see what you're trying to do, see where your vision is going,
Right.
and see if we in the same realm.
Probably pretty few. That's a pretty small list, I bet.
He's small.
Yeah, so at that point, after about months had went by, I thought I wasn't on that list. Must not be on that list. Because I wasn't getting any contact back. It was even to the point where I was like, does anyone else have this stuff? But you can't really find it. And then if you do, you know, he co-owns pretty much everything.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm gonna need him to hit me back. And so the idea and you know, kind of faded off. And then actually Dave Wilson mentioned something to me about, we were talking dogs one day, and he mentioned Kev stuff along with a couple other bloods. And I said, that's interesting. You know, I had reached out to him before. You know, I'm gonna try again. And then at that point, I think Kev hit me back, and we started talking about you know, we started talking about plans. And initially, I wanted to breed. We had some bus daughters coming up.
But before you get into that, before you get into the actual what's going down, what made you answer the fucking phone?
What made me call him back? I would be scrolling around on Facebook. I don't come on too often, but I jump in and out. I jumped on and I kept seeing the bully market and some people talking about homie blood. So I was like, what in the hell is a homie blood? So I asked some of my people, so they explained it to me. It's, you know, yeah. So they was like, it's Rob Lee, it's the bully market, lock and load, started explaining. So I knew the blood once they told me what it was, you know. So I said, okay. So like Rob said, he had contacted me, and I did my homework on him. I called a few of the OGs, you know, the older people that's been around. Sylvia Gomez was one of them, and they said, yeah, thumbs up. They was like, he's passionate he's about these dogs. Said he's a straight stoner and a marketing genius. Said he's, you know, he's good. So I said, okay, one thumb up. They said 2 thumbs up. So I said, okay. So I did my homework a little more, and I started feeling comfortable. So I said, let's have a conversation. I called him, and it started from there.
It's a super old school way of doing shit. You know, nowadays anybody with 5K can pretty much get anything they want from most people.
Yeah.
You know, your first, your last, your anything in between. The fact that you do some sort of vetting process to even people you fucking have a conversation with, I love that shit. Because I hate talking to people. So
I don't do the stud thing. I've done less than 5 public studs my whole 20 years.
5 public studs.
Less than 5.
Jesus Christ. See, but that's a whole different philosophy behind it. Like that philosophy of if you want my shit, you have to go through me. As far as puppies, you can't even get a stud. You want a puppy, I'm selling. You pay my price. You go through me, or you don't get it. That comes from old days. That comes from the game dogs, mm-hmm. right or wrong. I met a lot of people, you know, when I was younger, that they were the same philosophy. Nobody's getting my shit unless they're coming directly to me. You know, you ain't getting somebody's not using a stud and buying a last pick bitch, and now you got my stuff.
Right.
Representing my shit with something that should have been cold anyway.
Right.
So I think that's a super old school mentality. You know, the whole approach to it. I think that's why you know you get a lot of respect from guys that
see
feel
what
the
you
same
just
way.
said. If you got to come through me to get the stuff, if I don't want to deal with you, then you won't have it. That's how it always was, especially back in the old days. And so with the game dog days, you know, that dog that you sold could actually come back and beat you later. So,
Right.
Yeah, you would kill yourself basically. Yeah, so everybody's particular about that. You didn't just pass that blood out.
And then is that something you obviously that's not the only thing you carried over from back in the day.
No,
that's the whole philosophy behind
yeah,
that.
even the breedings, everything. You know, it's I bred bullies the way I bred game dogs. Yeah, same philosophy.
You were successful with the gamers also.
Yeah.
You had good success there.
Yeah.
So why broke it if it ain't fucking Or why fix it if it ain't
If it ain't
broke?
broke, yeah.
Why broke it? Listen, if you have never been to the bully market, some things happen out here. Anyway, okay, so getting back into what you were saying about, like, you know, initially what you guys were talking about doing basically was a bus lounge combo, bus Midwest Monster combo.
Well, no, it was actually a bully market, Midwest Monsters. We hadn't chosen which studs. We just were talking. This was some old school shit. We talking blood. We're not talking a particular dogs. We talking his program with my program and making some dogs. We gonna look at each breed and see what's best and make it happen.
Yeah. So, by the time we had really, actually, so to back it up, when I first talked to him, we were talking about doing breedings to some of my bitches, bus daughters. We were looking at a couple of different bus daughters at that point, and also I think a bistro, some line breds, you know, different things. I got a lot of different options here, but then the opportunity came to pick up one of his females. So then that put me in.
Which is a pretty rare thing too. There's not a lot of people that got stuff.
As we kept going, this thing started getting deep, and I said, you know what? We started coming up with some strategy. So I said, okay, boom. That's how we ended up. Let's pick out a female. Boom, take the female that, call on her, you know, do some breedings. We gon' it's gonna be stages to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not just a one-time
Not just
thing.
a
It's not
one-time
just
thing,
a one litter deal. It's gonna be.
I got some stuff to
Drawn
lock
out.
in from his side. He got some stuff he needs from me. So we gonna smash it together, work it out, and you know.
People don't understand that this is how this whole fucking American bully got created. Big programs, you know, people that are passionate about their shit, people that do it the right way, coming together to get better. That's how this whole fucking thing started. You know, however you want to refer to it, Gray Line, Gotti Line, that's got Razor's Edge in it. Razor's Edge got, you know, Michelin's in it, Gotti Line in it. You know, Michelin's has two or three different, you know, a couple things in it, outcrosses. Your stuff has outcrosses. Rob's stuff outcrosses. I mean, that's the collaboration that Rob and I did. I thought at the time was pretty big, but it's nothing compared to what you guys are doing. The way you're approaching it, to me, I mean, I can't see how it's not gonna do what you guys are planning on. Because I've got a behind the scenes look at it all weekend, what the plans are and how you guys are approaching it. It's hard for me to see it failing, you know, especially with you guys behind it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty exciting stuff. Just how it's all been coming together. We got the first phase of the project underway. We got a litter on the ground now.
Crazy litter.
Nice litter from the female that we picked up, which is a lime bred crump juice.
Was that the bitch you guys had picked from day one? Did you know that was the bitch?
No, we actually had got to give a shout out to my crew in Mexico, the Mexico chapter of the lounge. It's Tony and Susie, and when we decided to use one of my females to send to him, you know, to get a litter off of that first, I had to check the trap and see what I got available and what would be best for that purpose. Susie and Tony had a bitch that was off a Heartbreaker daughter bred to one of my lounge boys. So we were actually trying to send her out here to Rob. It would have, you know, it would went back to his blood and, you know, a familiar something to catch on to and jump it right in. We'd kick off like that. But the female that we chose didn't like that ride in the plane. So she had a panic attack before she even got on the plane. So we had to pick another one, which came out even better, I think. It was a 100% lounge girl. Well, she's got a little Kingdom outcross. It's like a 3/4 lounge bitch with some Kingdom.
Still something that you
Oh
put
yeah,
together.
it's inbred. It's
Right.
deeply inbred.
Right.
So said let's send her out here. And my girl Susie did what she had to do. She jumped on the plane, brought the bitch to Rob, to LAX, and she jumped right back on the plane and went back home. She made that trip just to get the bitch out here to him.
Yeah, it's a nice bitch. I mean, you definitely,
decent,
when you look at her, you can definitely see the lounge on
Oh
it.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and did well with the pups. Got 6 beautiful pups. And
Bred to the bus.
bred to the bus.
Nice pups. I saw him. He been updating me the whole time. You know, keeping me up on him. I saw him for the first time and laid hands on him yesterday, and I was impressed. They look good. And then they
also
8 weeks old, 9 weeks old.
Yeah, yep, 8 weeks. I
Yeah,
think.
it's just getting started.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that the potential's there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, you don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what the combination is yet or how it's going to turn out mature.
We ain't gonna lose, trust me.
But I don't think you're going to lose
Yeah.
either.
The question is how big we gonna win, but it's not gonna lose. Ain't gonna be no L on this one. We already halfway there, so.
Well, it's going to be a lot of L's. It just ain't going to be from you two motherfuckers.
Well, and yeah, at this point, the way it's stacking up with what we're lining up, it's really going to impact our programs. I believe the way we hoped, with the traits that we're after and completing the dogs that we want. So individually, we're gonna feel it, but then also this type of collaboration is gonna add some value to the community as a whole, and to maybe open some minds up on, you know, people and how they're breeding and thinking in their next collaborations. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, a lot of collaboration and outcrossing is some of what was done to produce some top-notch stuff. And seems like these days it doesn't happen as often. So that was one of the things, you know, besides the fact of the blood, the genotypes, and the phenotypes all kind of coming together for what we thought would work. It was something that would be good for the bully community too. And
that's definitely what we talked about. Rob said this would be great for the bully community. I think, because you know, with all the bullshit going on, all the drama, it was just, you know, it's a clusterfuck right now. So we said, let's just do something big that's positive. Let's make some dogs. What we used to do, make these dogs, let these dogs talk. Back in the day, we didn't have all this drama, all this bullshit like this. We had some, but it was all about the dogs, you know.
I feel like the community then policed itself a lot more.
Oh,
than it does now.
oh yeah.
Can't get away with a lot of shit that goes on.
Well, that's before that that MySpace and Facebook and all that came.
right,
Now you can invent yourself. You know what I mean? You can become who you want to be.
right,
Yeah, it's
And then if somebody challenges you, you block them.
right.
You alleviate the problem. You
yeah,
just block them.
everybody's getting excited about Halloween, but these motherfuckers been wearing a mask all year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all a pretend game, 24 hours a day, all year long, for most of these guys. But fuck that. You know, as far as that stuff goes, is there any ego behind this? I mean, is there any like, we'll show them? You know, neither one of you really have a lot of Dax blood incorporated until recently. Rob added a little phenom stuff and a little bit from my stuff, but my stuff's the Dax in my program is 4 generations at least behind everything I'm doing now, so it's can't even really it's not really a big factor as far as I'm concerned. But is it something like we could do it without all this other shit, you know? Or is it just simply about just getting better as a program? Just the only, there's no, you want to puff your chest a little bit, like look at what we're about to do.
Well, as far as that, I don't look at nobody else's yard and say, well, I got to do him in or I got to beat him. I've always just stayed in my lane for the past 2 decades. You know what I mean?
100%.
I make my own lane.
Right.
I think you said that yesterday. My bully world is great because it's my world. I create my own world around me. Half of these dogs, my guys will tell you, I don't even know what the hell is going on because I don't look at other yards like that. If you paying attention to your own yard and you working, making some dogs, you don't even have time to be in the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because you working, you focusing on your own yard.
Yeah.
Some names brought up yesterday that we were all, a couple of us were like, I don't even know, I'm not even sure who the fuck that is. Somebody talking about an 8-inch exotic song. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. I'm working. We got stuff to do. I don't have time to. And even though there's a lot of talk about us, you know what I mean? A lot of talk about people that are making moves. Most of the people making moves are working. That's why they're making fucking moves. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and to answer your question,
I don't even know if there was a question.
about was it a Kev just said, you know, I stay in my lane and I'm not really looking about, you know, thinking about, you said, is it an ego driven thing or is it a bloodline driven thing? For me, part of it was I did want to add some genetic diversity to what I was doing. So if you look at the breedings that I've done for the last few years, you know, because when I first started and I had what I had, when I bred it too tight, it would go too much closer to like an Amstaff, you know, and I wasn't getting the forward moving results. And when you got a dog like Bistro, and you reach that level of success, it's like you need results.
Well, we also talked about the other day, it's hard to outproduce that motherfucker.
It's
Once
hard.
you get to that kind of dog, it's hard to outproduce something. You know what I mean?
It's hard to outproduce something, but it makes it a lot more. Your percentages become greater chances of doing that when you become armed with the information needed. So, you know, I got in the box, I did some breedings, and, you know, produced some good stuff, but I saw what it was lacking, what I needed to bring in order to move forward with the program, get more consistency. As a breeder, as a program, I want to be able to breed within my program and
Not have to step out.
not have to step out all the time, but I want to be able to do it safely, healthy, continuously be able to move forward without dwarfing down the dogs, you know what I mean, or cause, you know, breeding so tight. Because what I notice is a lot of the dogs, when they, and that's a testament to Kev's line too, is as tightly as some of the stuff is bred, it really maintains a crazy amount of mass and bone. And when you look just at a lot of these lines that get line bred too heavily or inbred too heavily, what you see is dwarfism, or what you see is the bone go back and turn more fine. You see more of a terrier type, or it just goes to more of the bulldog dwarf down type, and it's like, you know. So in the collaboration, I felt like that's something that he's getting good results with, tightly breeding it, still getting that mass, just needs a little refining on structure. And so I looked at that as a pretty good blood and tool to add into my shit, considering of what I wanted to do. So when I outcross it into mine, even, and then, you know, start tightening back up, I should be getting good results. I shouldn't be, you know, getting those issues that I was having before, kind of to the old look, you know, because I don't want classics. Did I produce some classics in the past? Yeah, I mean, will I still continue to, considering what my foundation is based around and the fact that I still want to produce clean shit? Yeah, but
Everybody, it doesn't matter what program you're breeding, there's going to be throwbacks.
there's going to be
There's
those
going
throwbacks.
to be throwbacks. It doesn't matter. That's how it works.
But, so, it was more of just me wanting to broaden my genetic base and still bring in the phenotype and change up the genes, so that way bust some things up, and then as I do some breedings, get some productions, and then breed them together and move forward, then I got my structure in there, I got my bullier traits in there. So when I brought in Phenom and did the Phenom experimentation that I'm doing, it's some of that DAC stuff will trickle into the other bloods, but like some stuff I do want to keep more pure, because like Kev, where he's working on his lounge strain, I have kind of like a couple of different strains within my program, because, you know, I want to even be able to have a strain that is more tighter on one thing instead of my old foundation shit, and so even have that strain to complement my own original strain already be bred by me too. It's the harder way, it's the long way. That's why I got so many dogs. You know what I mean?
So he making himself a line of outcrosses.
Right. Just
That's-
like, I mean, we literally had that conversation twice this weekend. You said you did something similar when you brought the Kingdom stuff in.
I ain't bought a bitch since '03. I ain't bought a dog since '03. So everything, when I need outcross, I'll make it. I'll make a little strain over here to bring back to the original stuff.
Okay, so you have been doing that
Oh,
the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, and he's maintained a more consistent look, so all the whole time. And I even saw a dog the other day where I had to text him and commend him on like props on what you've done with your strain that you've created, because this dog was, you look at it and it was lounge dog, like bona fide, you know.
Right.
And then I'm wanting to confirm what I thought in the pedigree, and I go and I look, and it's like watered down, like 25% lounge, and like inbred on some other gaudy stuff, which is already tightly bred as it is. And that lounge shit just came through strong. I said, man, congrats on creating a pre-potent, not just a pre-potent dog, a pre-potent strain of dogs that just shines through. So, you know, it's pretty impressive. It really is. So, you know, mad props to you, Kev, on that.
Oh, man.
Very exciting to bring in, you know, this stuff and kind of work with it, and have his co-owning the female with him, kind of getting more guidance of working the blood. And so we did the bust breeding, and then now we're going to think about possibly going back to one of his studs for the next breeding, create some pure lounge stuff. And that's a whole other thing too, you know, where he said he hasn't bred his dogs more than 5-10 times or whatever in 20 years. Publicly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
For us to be able to, you know, get this bitch, do 3 breedings with them, and get a lounge litter, do some outcrossing with our stuff, and then also do a couple more breedings with this. You know, I look at it as a big opportunity, thankful for it.
And to me, it's one of the biggest collaborations in history, I feel like. You guys are pretty close to where you want to be as far as your dogs, both of you. As far as, you know, your look, you know, you both know your look and you're getting pretty close to it, especially you, like with the consistency and stuff. That's one of the, I mean, to me, it's one of the biggest collaborations in the history of the fucking breed, really. I can't wait to see what comes out of it. The only disappointing thing is I know you motherfuckers are going to be stingy with it.
Yeah.
You already know, stingy than a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how motherfucker gets in on that, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. And
Now,
That's why
dead
you've been
serious.
being so nice this weekend.
I'm dead serious. I think it's one of the biggest collaborations that, you know, especially in the last 10 years. I can't remember two more recognized programs getting together and really putting some work in. Obviously, you've had, you know, this guy will use a stud, or this guy will, you know, you'll buy a bitch from him and do a pup deal or something. But
yeah.
you guys are digging in deep, and it's going to be, my assumption is nothing is even going to be sold off it, and it's going to be used to move forward with. So it's going to be huge. What exactly are you expecting? Like, what type of dogs? You know, build me the dog that you guys are expecting to get out of the collaboration.
Well, you know, I think that I admire the bone that his stock produces, that chest drop, the massive bodies, the girth on them, you know, and at this point, they're pretty short, you know, like from what I remember seeing Kev's dogs there years ago, a little bit bigger.
Right.
And they're a lot more chopped down now and still got that mass. And so when I look at what we have planned and what some of our updated program has been producing, which you've seen some of for your first.
Shit, I've seen the progression 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Up here.
So, you know, each year, and then you saw, and now some of those production come into their own, mature, and now have some of their own puppies. And so,
And every year it's like legit noticeable strides toward where you're going, you know what I mean? Like we have private conversations, maybe necessarily about plans that don't get announced to the
Right.
public, and then I come back 6, 8 months later, and not only was that you're implementing that shit, but you've already got the system down and it's working already, you know what I mean? So I've actually seen the progression 3 years in a row, and it's a steady movement toward what you're trying to do, you know?
where it's always a bull market. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I apply. It sounds like just a slogan, but it's just not cheap words here. It's we constantly want to progress within the program, and then just when you apply that type of discipline and principles to something so that you have a lot of passion about, it's like kind of easy just to, you know, apply it to your life in general. You know what I mean? And strive to continuously get better. You know, whether it's reading books or just, you know, it could be spending more time with your kids, your family, just whatever it is to get better. And so in this case, we're talking dogs and building that ideal dog. I mean, you know, we are getting close.
What do you see coming out of it?
You know what? Whenever you collab with a blood that's unfamiliar with yours, that you haven't done before, you don't know exactly what's going to be the outcome. But when you got quality dogs on both sides, it's going to be some quality. So it's exciting just watching it come together. You know, just to see. You know, like I said, it's going to win. I just want to see how far it's going to go. Yeah, we going to win.
Home runs, man. I mean,
Yeah.
We should get lots of color. You know, you got his champagne stock, and you got our tricolors. The color is going to start bursting out everywhere.
Bursting in.
You know,
We got 6 puppies. I couldn't pick out an ugly one.
you got to
yeah, that's what I was surprised by. Is like, who's last pick? You know, who's the
the common denominator in our program, Heartbreaker, Nemesis Black China, through Trendy and Token. I tend to think that brings some bone to the table. So I think that some of our matchups will have some puppies with some overwhelming bone. Maybe not all. I mean, that's how litters go. But I think we will get some very, you know.
and you just by the experience with our stuff, you know it's in there to be pulled out.
Exactly.
You know it's in there to be pulled out.
You know
And
firsthand.
with a program consistently that has it anyway,
Yep.
that shit's gonna be pulled out. I have no doubt about it. It's in there to be pulled out, no question.
And another thing I like about Kev's dogs, that as we breed, I'm breeding for something that I think looks cool, that's practical, but also it needs to be able to do some shit, you know. And so you've come out here on the property, you see the hills and the trees and the balls hanging, and you know, I like our dogs to be able to play and to run, and I feel like that's another thing where he has the components. I think probably a lot of that comes from the corrupt blood.
Well, the gray line blood.
The gray line
that's
too.
The OG gray line.
The OG gray line.
That's what put it in corrupt. Yeah, it's
True.
the OG gray line. And we've been talking about that all weekend. And that's another thing that hooked me in with him. When I did my homework, that was one thing I looked at. He doesn't have no lazy dogs.
Yeah.
He got some dogs who drive, that want to get up and move, and you know, have it in there like these dogs were meant to be. So
Yeah. So man, I'm thinking beautiful, colorful,
And not
bully.
We're not confusing drive with aggression. We're not talking
No.
about aggression. We're talking about a dog that wants to get
Wants
up
to
and
work.
move and fucking work.
wants to work, wants to move around. He doesn't want to just sit.
So I think a
chill.
lot of
He
people
wanna move
confuse
around.
that.
Yeah.
You say drive, and people automatically think they want to kill something.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about.
No.
Right.
No, and I mean when you got that drive, if you're a good trainer handler and you're able to channel that type of
Right.
energy and
Right.
drive in the show ring, you could have a super
Stands out a lot.
standout show specimen. If you have that drive and you are dedicated to the workouts, then you got a dog that has a leg up on a dog that doesn't have no
Exactly.
drive, because he's just gonna quit. He's tired. He don't want that weight around his neck. One of these dogs though, we're gonna put weights on our dogs and they're gonna blow up. we're gonna reach the full genetic potential that we putting together.
That's what it's about.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of people don't do that, hollering, it's not how you feed them, it's how you breed them. But what if you do both?
Right.
Yeah, what if it is about how you breed them and about how you feed them and about how they move around and what they do on a daily basis, just like fucking people. Like we were talking about earlier this weekend, they're bodybuilders. Even back in the day one, talking to Rodney from New Trojan, he treated them like bodybuilders. He saw them as bodybuilders from 1990. You know what I'm saying? Why is it hard for people now to understand these are bodybuilders? You can't, even if you got great genetic potential for muscle, without the stress on the body to make the body adapt and grow more muscle, and the proper diet, the calorie intake to build that muscle, you're not going to, even if you have a crazy genetic potential for muscle, you're not going to have a lot of muscle without the exercise and the food going in.
Right.
Why would it be any different for dogs? Why would it be any different? It's not. You know,
Right.
It's the same thing.
100%.
Calorie intake, exercise, I'm not saying you should be out running fucking miles and marathons, but short burst exercise for, 35, 45, an hour sometimes. Short burst shit where they're using, the fast twitch muscles.
Yeah.
And they're going for 35, 45 minutes, so they're getting a little endurance workout also. Best of both worlds, a couple times a week.
Yeah. I like to do every other day. But yeah, I mean, so when you really break down these dogs and the programs and even the pedigree, when you go back to he mentioned the Monster G stuff, and we have a lot of that through the Rock and Ruby, which we've done really well with.
Which we explained this weekend that was a strain off of that New Trojans at Rock and Ruby. Yeah.
If your shit is Bully in 2017, it has New Trojans in it, I promise. Somewhere.
So
I promise. If it looks like an American Bully right now, it has New Trojans in it. Promise.
yeah, it's
But anyway, I think that you guys are setting yourselves up for success with that, with the collaborations. Seeing the bitch, knowing what the bus produces, knowing what kind of, I watched your program 9 years, 8 years. Fucking with you 5 years probably, knowing you 5 years. Seen what comes out and what the both bloods produce.
Let me ask you, what do you think about the collab? What you saw with the puppies? Because you came telling me before I even saw them. You came over to our house and told us.
I think the potential to be game changing shit is there. What Rob consistently produces and what you want out of his shit is the same exact shit I wanted when I used it, and it's exactly what I got. You're gonna get a more square rear. You're gonna get a wider hip set. You already have wide rib cages. But that was one of the things I wanted to use through the lock and load shit because I knew it was there with Bistro. You're gonna get a more compact dog overall, especially using the bus. So, and the stuff that Rob wants to add is a little more bone proportion. That head shape that you consistently carry, the cheeky shit, the heavy, strong underjaw, the heavy muzzles. I mean, if you get the best of both worlds in one dog, it's going to be home runs, no doubt about it. And there's 2 males in that litter that are already showing the potential to be fucking home runs. It's crazy. I think it's great just to be able to kind of see it from behind the scenes. I'm excited about it too.
there's definitely these pups are definitely real nice. Bus is an excellent producer, and he produces very well with just about anything he's been bred to.
Yeah, and I don't think there's really anything, maybe past Stearns that you worry about moving forward. But with the bus, you don't worry about that really at all because he doesn't throw that.
No.
So
exactly.
Really, what are the negatives? Like even the bad stuff that you guys are looking at, the negatives from your stuff and the negatives from your stuff. Even if you get some of the negative stuff, it's still not going to be that fucking bad. You're still going to be an improvement.
And you got to understand, this is phase 1.
Yeah, this is
foundation.
Right.
We just building. We laying the foundation for the house we can rebuild.
Right.
So
I mean, I just appreciate you letting me, and the fact that you guys put this together, like having the, you know, a bunch of your guys come out, the lounge guys come out, you know, doing the interviews with Zeb, you know, setting the thing up with Rodney. I'm just kind of humbled to even have the invite. That's why I felt like I had to set my shit up. I couldn't come out here with some regular set up an iPhone kind of thing and let's roll.
Well, you
know?
got us like we in an interrogation.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Lights, cameras, action.
Anyway, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to hear about, you know, what you guys got planned.
Yeah, get some of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find Rob Lee. Just type in Bully Market or The Bully Market anywhere, and his shit will pop up.
Podcast going.
You can find Kev pretty much nowhere. This motherfucker hides like some sort of hermit. I feel like hermit crab. This mother. You can type in Kevin Benford on Facebook, and you'll be able to find his shit.
Yeah, Benford, Kevin Benford, and they've been on me all weekend. You've been on me.
Gotta
I'm
get
gonna
that
get
Instagram
Instagram
going,
running, and I'm gonna talk to some people.
Now, just because you look the shit up and you send him a message, he's saying his name like he's actually going to respond. He is not going to even respond to you, I promise.
Yes, I will.
Check out Kevin Benford, you know, Midwest Monstas, Bully Market. If you want to see more of my shit, Bull-NA-Chinashop.com, Bull-NA-Chinashop TV on YouTube, or you can go to iTunes and type in the Bull-NA-Chinashop podcast. I'll see you motherfuckers next week. I appreciate your faces. Thanks for rocking with me.